A wise dragon once said, "What is better, to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort?" Hey, what's going on, peeps? My name is MrRhexx and we're back with some more Elder Scrolls Skyrim. So in the last episode, we defeated the dragon Myrmulnir with the help of some of these trusty guards. Otherwise, we would have not been able to do it. This dragon is pretty mighty. We did forget to loot him. Some of you guys pointed that out in chat. As you can see, he has the the soldier that he actually ate, which is interesting. The most interesting thing, of course, is I believe this is not normal. Like, it looks like the head is still there. It's not just the helmet, but the head is there. Let me go ahead and grab it, because I want to make sure that's true. Dragon bones and scales, we will not be picking them up just yet. They weigh a ton. They're obviously used to build dragon bone weapons and dragon bone armor, as well as dragon scale weapons. Not weapons, but the armor. I think the weapons are only bone, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we definitely don't need that now, and carrying that is kind of a pain in the ass. Let's go ahead and check to see the helmet. I'm very curious. Still there. I don't know. I really want to test that out though, so let me just go ahead and quick save here. This is gonna be obviously not something that I'll reload as soon as I test this out, but just for the sake of knowledge, let's go ahead and kill him. Funny enough, I wouldn't be able to kill him otherwise. These guys are pretty tough. No, that's always the case. Alright, I was just wondering. Because I read something along those lines that the one you loot from the dragon was different than normal helmets, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Alright, let's go ahead and reload. This is really just curious. Anyways, today we should probably hurry because we have a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about Whiterun as a city, and we'll be talking about, I guess, Dragon's Reach, which is definitely the most interesting and kind of obvious part of the city. Like, just looking at Whiterun from almost any angle, you can definitely see Dragon's Reach. It's the biggest part of the town by far, the most menacing one, and there's actually a big story behind the creation of that little keep. It didn't used to be like that when the city was first constructed. Actually, the only thing that was here when the city was first constructed was the Skyforge. We will talk a little bit about it in just a bit, but oh, are we really just already fighting a dragon? Oh, no, that's the Greybeards calling upon us. Kind of freaked out there for a second, but here we go. When the city of Whiterun was first constructed, the only thing that was here, in fact, this used to be really just a mountain. Like, imagine this place literally just like a plains. Just a massive, never-ending plain with just a little hill in the middle of what is now Whiterun with the Skyforge there. In fact, the Skyforge has been there for longer than the Snow Elves were even here in the first place. Like, the Snow Elves have no idea where it came from. It was there long before them, and the reason that the humans, the Admorans back then, managed to settle in this land so peacefully, I mean, there was a lot of war, of course, but this land itself, the reason they managed to come here without really any trouble was because the elves feared the Skyforge. They said that it was magical, that it had properties that they did not understand, and to this day, nobody really understands what the Skyforge is, who built it, how is it made out of. It's one of those things. Apparently whatever you make in that forge tends to be better, of better quality. Now, that doesn't really apply in terms of the game. Like, if you make something, if you blacksmith something in there and then you compare it to something that you blacksmith somewhere else, it's not going to be better. But you can, however, make some very interesting weapons and armor in here that you cannot do anything anywhere else. I believe you can make Nordic hero weapons in here, and you can make the ancient Nordic armor, something that you cannot make anywhere else, I believe. After you complete some of the companions' quest lines, you can actually buy some weapons from Earlund here, weapons that you cannot make anywhere else. I believe they are the Skyforged steel weapons, so like Skyforged steel swords, Skyforged steel axes, things like that. You can't really make that yourselves unless you know, cheat the game or make mods or whatever. I guess I can probably show it here. Help Skyforge. And yeah, there's the sword, the dagger, the great sword, battle axe. There's no warhammers, and there's something else that there's none of, but doesn't matter really. It's one of those interesting things. In fact, the story, the lore of the game says that, and this is something that apparently they didn't add into the game, but you can see how there's fire coming out of the eyes, or you know, some kind of shining bubble over there. The lore says that there's supposed to be fire coming out of the beak, out of the mouth. You know, kind of like a fireplace. You know, just fire coming out of the beak, and not necessarily from the eyes, just from the beak. I guess they just kind of alternated it. I don't know why, but so what ended up happening is the Jig the Reaver, which was one of the captains of the 500 companions. He found the Skyforge and he was like, hey, this thing is pretty awesome, let's settle there. And he transformed his boat into the meat hall. So the meat hall is the boat that they used to come here to Skyrim in the first place. Now that's what they say. They say that they literally made the meat hall out of the boat. I don't know if I really want to believe that. Like, how do you even move the boat all the way over here? Like, I guess through the river might actually... I guess that is possible. Do you guys think that's possible? Because the White River goes through Windhelm and it actually opens into the Sea of Ghosts. So it is technically possible to move the boat here. He was called Jig the River for a reason, I suppose. They don't really explain that, but I mean, it has to have a reason. So that's pretty interesting. It was the boat. I think it was only 22 or 24 sailors in that boat when they came into Skyrim, but they founded Whiterun by building the meat hall with the boat, and for the longest time that was all that there was in Whiterun. Eventually everything else kind of happened later down the line. That's the Gilder Green. It's, well, dying now. It was hit by a thunder. I'm not sure how long before the events of Elder Scrolls Skyrim, but what we do know is that it was hit by a thunder, so now it's dying. And one of the quest lines is going to involve us obviously fixing it, reviving it. Now the reason why the tree is so important is because I killed the dragon, is because it's linked to Kynareth. Kynareth is, well, that's the Temple of Kynareth. Kynareth is one of the most important deities as far as the world of Skyrim is concerned. Obviously comes from Kine, who used to be the eagle god back in the old pantheon. Kine, the thing about Kine is that it has, like, when you look at her powers and what she represents, like, it makes kind of sense why they love her so much. She's supposed to be the patron that brings luck to the daily life of people. So if you want to have a good day, right? Like, you wake up in the morning, you're like, man, I hope that this day is good. You pray to Kynareth. You know, if you're a sailor, you pray to Kynareth that there's no storms or rains, right? If especially in a city that is so high up, like winds and stuff, that's Kynareth, right? She's the domain of wind and air, the air spirits and all of that good stuff. She was also the girl, as I mentioned on the last episode, she's the divine that told Paarthurnax to teach humans the Thu'um so that they could defeat the dragons. So there is a lot of Nords have bonded very, very much so with Kynareth. So this is also a fun fact, the only temple to Kynareth in all of Skyrim. And again, it's here because of the tree, so that's a very interesting thing. Now, the Dragon's Reach has a very, very strong history. See, the keep didn't used to be this big. It used to be just a normal, I guess, small little town hall for the Jarl of Whiterun. This is back in Olaf One Eye Jarlhood. The reason it is so big, and I suppose I should probably come inside and I guess show you guys physically how the place looks. But you see, this place used to harbor a dragon, and as you can see, there's the dragon's head. The dragon was called Numinex, and there's a lot of very interesting details about this dragon because the accounts of the battle between Olaf and the dragon are argued up to this day. And the thing about Skyrim is that when you read books and you hear what characters say about other characters, for the most part, there is no one truth to anything. Things tend to change. One character says something, the other character says something else. Some characters straight up just lie to you. So it's very hard to really grasp the truth. But this is where Numinex was incarcerated. It's a place that you use in the main quest, so of course you guys know that. This was all built just to hold the dragon, and in fact the building was not called Dragon Street until this was built, which was way later down the line. It's pretty massive. That's the little thing they used to keep him up in place. So the way the story works is that the dragon was terrorizing Skyrim. Skyrim was being destroyed, villages were being burned to the ground, people were dying, and the War of Succession was happening at the time, so there was no unified government in Skyrim. Every hold was pretty much on their own, and no one wanted to band together to kill the dragon. So Olaf One Eye, which some people say that at the time he was the Jarl of Whiterun, some people say that he actually killed the dragon to become the Jarl of Whiterun. That's really where the stories differ. But he said that he was going to kill the dragon. He grabbed a bunch of people and he went all the way up until Mount Anthor, which is here. There's gonna be, if you actually walk in this section of the land, you'll see there's actually a ward wall and a dragon nest. So it does make sense, but that's where he said he fought the dragon, and everyone that was with him said that as well. Now some legends say that he fought the dragon with Thumes and that the battle lasted for 3 days or whatever. Very, very arduous battle. And after he defeated the dragon, he brought it here and incarcerated it. Now, the interesting things about this dragon is that they say that the dragon actually died of old age, which is, well, it cannot be true, since what Paarthurnax tells us, and from what we know about dragons in Skyrim, is that dragons are indeed immortal. They cannot die of old age. That's actually a fact. Like, we get told that dragons cannot die of old age. So just from the get-go, accounts of what happened are already factually wrong. This dragon couldn't have died of old age, but that's what they tell us. Maybe Paarthurnax is lying to us, or maybe he was actually killed for whatever reason. Fact of the matter is, accounts do differ a lot in what happened. Some people, in fact, if you do the College of the Bards here in Skyrim, you will be told the whole story, and you'll be told about a bard that lived at the time of Olaf One Eye, and he'll be able to tell you, I mean, if you read the verses that he wrote as a bard, you will see that Olaf wasn't indeed the person that he said he was. People say that he manufactured the whole lie about him capturing the dragon in this hardcore battle, and that he paid off every person that was with him so that they would tell this lie, so that he could, you know, they would all be rich and he could become the Jarl and everyone would be, you know, famous and powerful. It's one of those things that we don't really know the truth. We don't really know what happened. We will never really know. Some people say that that Olaf was actually Numinex. Like, he was one of those, he could transform into a dragon like people from Akavir, like the Capo tunes, which is a little bit insane if you ask me. But obviously, like, the fact, so when you translate Numinex into English, from Dovahkiin into English, it actually translates to now eye, like eye as in vision, the eye, your eyeball. So Numi specifically translates into that, and then X, the last syllable, we don't really have a translation for that, but some people are arguing that it probably means 1, the number 1, and if it does, it could actually mean one eye. So that's like an argument that people are using, saying that they could have been indeed the same person. But I mean, this is all just really conspiracy theories at this point. Nobody really knows, and we don't really have any factual information on that, but it's one of those interesting things. People say that Olaf One Eye was a corrupt person, which, you know, kind of makes sense when all of this is put together. And he was a cruel dictator and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, there's a plague in Windhelm with his name. He's, well, supposedly one of the biggest rulers. He ended up being a High King of Skyrim after all that, of course. He also, I guess, conquered the Reach you know, kill the Forsworn or whatever else. I guess they were not really called the Forsworn yet. I don't think so. Regardless, that's the story of Olaf One Eye, so... I know, it's very convoluted, but we don't really know the truth, so that's probably the case with a lot of this stuff. I don't know if there's anything else necessarily that I want to talk about here in Whiterun. Now, some people have been telling me to equip the, what was it? The steel armor gives you more armor, which is obviously what I want. I also wanted to equip the Iron Gauntlets of Wielding. One-handed attacks do 20% more damage. It's fantastic for me. It pretty much increases my damage altogether, which is great. Of course, you can buy Breeze Home here for 5,000 gold. Not going to do that just yet. So what is going to be our path? What are we going to do? So I thought that it would be cool if we could explore Whiterun Hold now that we're here. So Whiterun Hold is pretty much... It's pretty much the green area. So if you see it here, this green area here has been parted by the snow. I think it's all the way up until here. Rorik's, is this Rorikstead or Iverstead? Always confuse them. But there's a town here. Actually, maybe it's neither. I don't remember the name of the town here, but Whiterun Hold is supposed to cover all this section over here, and then I guess the mountain here, the north of the mountain. So Riverwood is part of Whiterun. But Helgen is not. Helgen is Falkreath, and then Falkreath is just pretty much the lake, and then south of Riverwood. But I want to explore a little bit of Whiterun, just check things around, level up a bit, because I'm gonna take the path north of the mountain into the Throat of the World, and there's gonna be some dungeons in here that I want to do, but the dungeons are not very easy, and of course the Throat of the World has that goddamn frost troll that I want to be able to defeat. So there's a lot here that I want to do, and I'm going to have to level up for all of that. Now, before I leave, I do want to buy some potions, actually. So I'm going to do that out of camera, and I'll see you guys outside. Alright, so I bought a bunch of potions and some medium potions. Life is good, life is good. It should be able to keep me up. Now, for today's video, I will have a straw poll down in the description so you guys can vote on what's going to be my secondary skill build. So I want to have a magical, I guess, side, you know, the perk line. I don't know how you really want to call it. I want to have either Destruction, Conjuration, Illusion. Let's see which ones there are here. Alteration or Restoration. So I need you guys to pick one of those for me so that I can have something. I need something to spend my magicka on, because it's kind of silly for me to be struggling and have a full bar of magicka, you know. So I guess I can give just a very small and quick guide on what it's going to entail for me to use every single one of these. But Alteration allows me to use some of the Ebony Flesh stuff. It gives me extra armor, spells that gives me armor, which are very, very useful. Of course, there's Magic Resistance, which is amazing against dragons. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just magic resistance stuff and armor stuff. It'll just allow me to take more damage. These are going to be spells that I'm going to cast before combat, and should hopefully last me all throughout combat. Restoration, you guys know Restoration, healing spells. Pretty cool stuff. Eventually, if I do get to level it up a lot, I'll be able to have Necromage, which is the most overpowered thing in the whole game. All spells are more effective against undead. Not actually to use against undead, but the thing that a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know until not so long ago, is that if you become a vampire, your character actually counts as undead, which means that every spell that you use on yourself is actually increased in efficiency. So your heals are stronger. I guess spells that you use on you, like I guess like the flesh spells from Alteration, they actually last longer because of this. It's an amazing, amazing perk to choose from. So it's something that we can do. It's really just healing stuff that I would be interested in this tree. Destruction, you guys know Destruction, fire stuff, elemental stuff. I mean, really just offensive spells, nothing that out of the ordinary. Conjuration is by far the most overpowered thing in this game. I'm gonna be honest here. Probably not as overpowered as Necromage, but as far as a skill line is concerned, this would make the game, I guess, easier for me if we were to pick this one. It would allow me to, of course, be able to narrate things and explain things without having to worry about me dying all the time, which would be amazing. It would entail me summoning things, I guess. Just eventually I would get the ability to summon Dremoras to fight for me, and eventually I'll be able to get 2 of those. So it'll just make the game a lot easier for me. This is definitely the best, like, objective thing to have. So if you guys want it to be easier for me, then this would be the best choice. Illusion is illusion, confusing people, charming people, making them fight each other, calming them is really more of a... I mean, you guys know what it is. I don't really have to explain it. It's kind of boring. But that's, guess that's it. Yeah, so there you go. I'll leave it down there in the description so you guys can go ahead and vote. Have some fun there. Now, we're going to be walking around Whiterun Hall. There's actually 2 places. Let me just, hold on. Something in my mouth. There's 2 places that I want to go into, specifically, for this video. I want to go into the Silent Moons Camp and the Halted Stream Camp. As I said, I just want to level up a little bit and get some experience now before I commit myself to some hardcore dungeons. There's a Giants camp. I guess we could go there since we talked about Giants before. But I'll leave that for later. I might actually make a lore video for Giants because I find them very, very interesting. But now let me answer some questions. Jared Purser, and I'll surmise this question here in my own words. He's asking, what is the actual Elvish name for the Snow Elves? Because as you guys... Oh boy. Oh my fuck. I'm dead. Wasn't expecting to fight a sabretooth here, to be honest. I really was not. Alright, Findle. This is yours. I should definitely equip him with something cool because he is not cool enough for us. Saber cats are hardcore at this level, man. They really are. But he was asking, what is the Elvish name for Snow Elves? Because as you guys know, the Dark Elves, obviously before known as the Chimmer, they are the Dumner. The High Elves are the Altner. The Dwarves are the Dwemer. You know, and so on and so forth. You have the Bosmer, the Dwemer, the Altmer, they all have an Elvish name to them. So what is the Elvish name for the Snow Elves? And the answer to that is a little bit sweet sour, at least for me, because there is a misconception that the word Falmer actually translates to the betrayed. And this is something that I might have actually spread a while ago, and it's something that I kind of feel shitty about. Yeah, as you can tell, it doesn't translate directly to the betrayed. So the thing is, these Snow Elves that are alive nowadays, they call the Falmer the betrayed. That's just their name for it, because they don't want to be associated with the Falmer. And because of that, it is understood that Falmer means the betrayed, but it is not. It's just a different name that is given by the Snow Elves. I am gonna have a pretty bad time here. I want to carry this guys a little bit backwards, but the Falmer were always called the Falmer, even before they were enslaved by the Dwemer. So that's the misunderstood part. They were always the Falmer. Falmer means Snow Elves. The reason the Snow Elves call themselves the Snow Elves and not the Falmer is because they don't want to be called the... Let me quick save here. They don't want to be called the Falmer because obviously there's associations to that with the betrayed, the shitty looking blind families of theirs that live underground. So that's your answer, Jared. They're all Falmer. Even the Snow Elves are Falmer. They just don't like to be called the Falmer. And the betrayed is really just the way the Snow Elves call them to differentiate them from, you know, themselves. I don't remember because it's really been a while, but I think I was one of the ones that made that mistake a long time ago, and I'm afraid that some people might have actually still believed that because of me, so it's kind of a shitty feeling for me. kind of one of my mistakes. But yeah, there's your answer, Jared. Hope that was satisfactory. There is some really interesting weapons here in the Silent Moon camp. Actually, some weapons that are in some ways unique, which is the reason why I like to come here and get those. It's a very unique enchantment that you can only find in this place. You can, of course, then disenchant it and get it for yourself, but it's one of those things that you literally cannot find anywhere else in the game, so I always appreciate coming over here. I'm just going to go ahead and wait to get my HP back. Not necessarily anything that that important. It's just, you know, for experience sake and for lore purposes, I think it's kind of nice. But the weapons that these guys carry they have a moon enchantment, and the way that enchantment works is that it gets power if both Master and Secunda, the moons, are out in the sky. It's obviously day, so we wouldn't... It's obviously... Sorry about that. It's obviously day, so we wouldn't be able to see them. Obviously, in real life, the moon is always there. It's just that we cannot see it. But, in this game, it would have to be night, I believe, for you to be able to get the bonuses. These guys, I don't think they carry the weapons, actually. You can only find them at the very end. But there is a very peculiar furnace here called the... I believe is the Lunar Forge, which I believe is this one. It doesn't show, but I think there's a book somewhere that explains it. Yeah, notes on the Lunar Forge, so there you go. I think that should give me some blacksmith. No, it doesn't. Alright. See, Lunar Iron Mace. So, these bandits found the Lunar Forge, and they were creating this enchantment on their weapons that was good, that makes them stronger at night, pretty much. I guess I can grab the Lunar Mace and show that. While the moons are out, burns the target for 15 points. It's pretty good for a level, you know, for an early level weapon. It's not bad at all. You should definitely disenchant that and, you know, just get it. Because if you... Well, I guess you can still sell the weapons, and the weapons that drop here in this area actually do respawn every so often. So I guess there is no way that you can, like, completely miss out on the enchantment. They made it so that, you know, you were safe even if you were dumb enough to do that. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, you can come back every so often and the weapons will respawn. So there's really nothing for you to worry about. Guess we can probably just go ahead and explore a little bit here. We're about to level, so that's good. I like to be level 10 usually before I go into the throat of the world, at least. Now, William Schneider, having issues pronouncing that apparently. He asks, what I don't get is that some Draugr are obviously people that not serve the dragons and kind of did the opposite. Olaf One Eye is the boss Draugr in the quest Tending the Flames, and he was the guy who drove Numinex mad. He's also in Sovngarde at the same time. He's a Draugr, and he does mention the fight he had with the guy who helped him kill him. Okay, so he's saying that it's very curious that Draugrs are supposed to be people that were in the Dragon War and either sided with the dragons or fought against them, and as a way of cursing them, they were turned into Draugrs to serve the Dragon Priest forever, right? And obviously they're still alive. They were buried alive so that their souls wouldn't leave their bodies, so that they could be later resurrected. But then the thing about Olaf... Oh shit, that's gonna hit really hard. Man, I need... There we go, boy. Nice. So the thing about Olaf is that he died, and then he became a Draugr, so that kind of defeats the argument that we made 2 episodes ago. And then on top of that, he's a Draugr, but you actually get to find him in Sovngarde. When you kill Alduin and you finish game, you can see him in Sovngarde. He talks to you. So the question is, how is that? How does that happen? And honestly, I have no answer for you. Like, my only answer to you, William, is that's probably just an oversight of the developers, or just a lack of explanation on how that's supposed to happen, right? Because we do have lore on what the Draugrs are supposed to be, what their objectives are, and how they came to be. But then you have Olaf One Eye, who died after the fact. He still became a Draugr, and he's still in Sovngarde. So it's kind of odd. My assumption would probably be that that for gaming purposes he was called a Draugr, but in reality he's probably just a ghoul. I mean, that's I don't know. That's a really good question. We'll deal with them once we do the Bard quest line, but it's one of those things that I honestly have no clue. Maybe someone has a better answer in chat, and if you guys do, we'll talk about it in the next episode, but I would say he's probably just a ghoul, and he was called Draugr just for gaming purposes, for game mechanics. We get the Steel War Axe. There's actually 4 of those lunar weapons found on the ground. We have found 2, but I'm not sure where the other 2 are. Nor does it really matter. As long as you have 1, you can disenchant it, and that's really all you need. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this on the last episode, but just to be sure that I have, the winner of the first straw poll for what questline we're going to be doing is the Dark Brotherhood. So we're going to be doing the Dark Brotherhood, but first, as I said before, we're going to do the main quest until we get Fusroda, and then we will do the Brotherhood. I will not destroy the Brotherhood. I know that some of you guys have been telling me to do that. I will not do it, because then it would be silly. Like, it would be very difficult for me to explain the lore of the Brotherhood if I just go ahead and kill them all first chance I get, so I am not going to do that, guys. I'm sorry. I am sorry. But we only have the 1 camp left. I also actually do have a level up, but I want to save it until I'm actually weak, just to be sure that I can use it as a heal. We will also talk about the moons. I was thinking we could actually explain a little bit of how the moons work in this game and where they come from and all that stuff, but that's gonna get deep into the lore with some of the Etadas and, you know, the creation of Nirn. And I think that's probably a topic better left for its own video. You can actually find some saber-toothed tigers in here too, if I remember correctly. So I want to stay clear of that little mountainside there at the end. You do not want to cross those 2 guys. Funny enough, the saber-toothed tigers are very much tied up to the moons. It is believed that saber-toothed tigers are actually Khajiits. So the way it works, and I will again make it, I want to leave these things for a full video because, you know, they're very nuanced, and I want to make sure that I get all of this right, of course. Wow! Was not expecting it to do that much damage. That's why I'm spending as many points into health as possible, but the saber-toothed tigers are actually, or could have been Khajiits, but they were born into a different moon. So when a Khajiit baby is born, the shape of him or her, and I guess the color of its fur, their abilities, and all of that good stuff is defined by the moon that is in the sky the day they're born. So it's pretty much like horoscopes, but like real. So it's very interesting. So and I don't really have the moons currently here with me, but you know, if a Khajiit is born in the half moon of whatever day, then he might actually just straight up turn into a saber-toothed tiger and stuff. So it's a very, very interesting system, and I do want to, as I said, just leave that for a whole video so that we can explain that properly. But very interesting stuff, very interesting stuff. Let's go ahead and heal up a little bit. So I got 14 miners, so I got this. Got the power of that power attack. Also, the shout that we're probably going to be using the most, and one of the reasons why I chose to have a Redguard as my character was because I think one of the strongest shouts in this game is by far slow time shout, because it allows you to pretty much have your way with any character for a very long time, and as long as we have the stamina to do power attacks, you can pretty much just grab a dragon, use your time slow shout, use your adrenaline rush ability, and then literally just spend the next 20 seconds power attacking a dragon, just, I mean, without them being able to do anything about it, which is very, very, very powerful. And that's pretty much the build that I was going for with this character. Let's go ahead and rest. Oh, and this is it's a trap here, so we're gonna have to pick this chest and run away. Cool. Now, this particular camp here has been taken over by bandits, and the reason they are here is twofold. So they're using this camp as a form of mammoth slaughtering camp, I suppose. There's a lot of giants. I keep calling giants trolls. I'm sorry about that, but there's a lot of camps for giants in this region. This is a very, 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 very popular region for giants. And what these guys are doing is they're stealing the mammoths, and then they're, I guess, eating them, and then selling the horns, the tusks, I'm sorry. As you can see, a lot of snouts and a lot of mammoth skeletons. And the funny thing about this place is that when they settled here to do that, they found out that the cave here had a lot of iron ore, like so much iron ore. And in fact, this is probably the most recommended place to come to if you're looking to mine some more for yourself. This is, I think there's 16 iron nodes in this cave. It's a lot. It's crazy just how many nodes there are in here. But it's funny because what these bandits are actually doing is they're trying to transform the iron ore into gold ore by using what's it called again? It's not transmogrification. It's something else. Oh boy. They're using alchemy to transform the iron ore into gold ore, which is a spell that you can actually get in this game, and it's a spell that you can actually find in this game. I mean, in this cave. We'll get to that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and kill this bandit. Ooh, nice. A little flip there. I thought it was gonna kick me or something. We get the key. Cool. Oh, was wondering what was happening. You should definitely loot the tusks. They sell for a lot, and I mean, they're free. They're right there, so it's pretty cool. So if you're doing, you know, the quest for Isolde, I think she asks you for tusks. You can just come into this cave and get that. If you're looking to transform, if you need gold for your character for whatever reason, you should always come here and grab the spell, which we'll get in just a bit. There's a lot of reasons why a new character should come here. It's a very, very good place to start. It's also a very difficult area, so I suggest entering this place with caution. See, they're cutting that little mammoth over there. So let's go ahead and use... See, I have force, but I don't think it's that good. I'm gonna use... Alright, the rush, and I'll have the foos here. I could evade that. Uh-oh, that was a mistake. Sure not to get hit by a power attack now that I'm this weak. Oh no! Well, he did a power attack when I was this weak. That's what I was afraid of. We'll get to try this once more. Findel is not doing very good though, and he's getting pressured hardcore, so definitely want to kill this guy really quickly. Kill the mage first. I can accidentally kill Findel if I hit him now, so... This is what I like about... Oh boy. That's what I like about the Captain Dreads here. Wow. That is insane amounts of damage, man. My god, it's very hard to fight them one-to-one. Yeah, there's really no traps I can use. What I can do is I can use Destruction and then burn that place up, maybe deal some extra damage. It's always wise to use your environment as, you know, for help. It's the chief, man. It's the chief. Causes problems, and I'm slow too. I need Fandel to, Oh, wow. I had 90% HP. Alright, I'll speed this up, boys. Let's not dilly-dally. It's hard, man. It's hard. Might actually get him here, but... Oh my god, it's so difficult. I'm slow, too. Gotta be full, otherwise it's just... Oh, that was close. Alright, let's do some destruction now. Get out of here. Get out of here, dude. Uh-oh, that's not expected. Yeah, I got him! Yeah, that's what happens, man. It's it can get pretty difficult. So I'm trying to level up as much as possible and get as much HP as possible. I mean, you guys saw that, right? He killed me, and I think I had 90% HP or so. That's insane, man. That's crazy. But we get his frost battle axe that was slowing me down like crazy, so that's pretty cool. As I said, there's really there's not much in here. There's a couple of chests. I guess the tusks are probably the most worthwhile thing to get here. There's the ore nodes that you can get. Oh, there was a trap here. I could have used this. I guess I don't know what I was expecting. I really don't know what I was expecting, but I deserve that. Well, that's just what I get. Had to kill him again. All right, so the one thing though, so you get the tusks that are worth a lot of money. You have the nodes that are very worthwhile if you're looking for iron, of course. But by far, this is what you're trying to get, the transmute mineral ore. It's a very interesting spell. It changes things into a superior level of ore. I don't know if I have really all the information for this. What am I looking? Oh, I'm looking for books. So here it is. Transmutes one piece of unrefined iron ore to silver, or silver ore to gold if the caster is carrying any. So it changes any ore, I mean, those two ores into the advanced version of that ore. But you have to be carrying it, and you have to be... It takes a while for it to cast. So you're carrying 20 ores. And you have the spell, you have to cast the spell 20 times for every single one of those ores to change into the new version of ore. It's a very useful tool though. It definitely makes blacksmithing just a little bit easier. So you don't have to be finding those gold ores everywhere you look. It's a lot of just iron here, potions, things that you should grab. Obviously the chest. Just some gauntlets we can actually use. Actually no, my gauntlets are better because it gives me some extra damage. Anyways, guys, it's gonna be the end of this episode. Started out pretty good, then I just started dying over and over and over and over again. Got a secret chest here, which is nice. I hope you guys are enjoying this, and yeah, as always, leave your questions down below. I guess tomorrow we'll probably head over to Iverstead, or possibly just explore more of Whiterun Hole. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll be sure to do that. Anyways, guys, see you all next time. Bye-bye.